Welcome back to Lock In. Let's get into the second match of the day between Leviathan and Team Vitality. As you guys can see, production, they didn't trust the three of us once again to keep it in check. So we've got Skrossi joining us. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's pretty exciting to be on the desk. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great game, and I'm sure your insight is going to be invaluable. We haven't been scrimming and playing against these teams, so you've got a very different perspective.
Yeah, I've even played against one of the teams, so yeah, I have pretty good insights.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see us break it down. But let's start with Leviathan here, because Brent's going to troll this, so I'm going to let you take this one, Josh, because they are looking so good.
Yeah, I think they're looking scary good. A lot of teams have been talking about how good they've been in scrims, and now we've actually had an opportunity to watch them play. And I think their ascent has just been absolutely immaculate. We'll talk about that in a bit, but the player quality they've got too is really, really high. You know, King's been fragging, Taco's been fragging, Mazzino, the new addition, has been popping off too. This is really supposed to be like a South American super team, right? Yeah. That's kind of the whole point of the addition of Mazzino.
No, I couldn't agree more. I mean, from the talent perspective, you look at the individuals, they're just all so damn good. I mean, I'm especially been impressed with Mazzino over the course of the tournament, because that guy has just been, you know, just dominating from an anchor position and playing smokes as well for them.
I mean, we talk about maps as well. I think in the last matchup, you guys had questions about the map pool, but when it comes to one particular map, Josh, I feel like Leviathan are just one of the best, if not the best in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at their ascent. Yeah. The South American teams are normally so good there, but look at how they control the attack side here. You know, they're just immaculate. The utility usage and then the way that they're pushing through, they're able to trade their way through. I mean, this round was bonkers, though. This round was the one where Mazzino TP's up top, and he's pinging out his teammates to span them through the smoke. In a lot of the other rounds, they've got Taco dashing in, and then they've got Mazzino teleporting into the smokes. A bit like the Telestrator you saw earlier from Bala, actually. This is just a team that understands how the attack side works, and for a defense-sided map, if you're good on attacking, you've just got it all. And I think that makes it really difficult to get through.
Yeah, and Rossi, you know, I've heard so much scrimbox about this team, and after seeing them, do you feel like they're one of the favorites in this bracket in the tournament?
Leviathan for sure. They're like very deadliest team out there, I would say. Aim-wise, their strategy-wise, they're really strong. Even when I was talking to Erin, he said like they're one of the best teams on Ascent. We're like, they're really good and they're really sharp, and especially King. You know, he plays like multiple agents like Viper, you know, sometimes Duelist Raze, and sometimes Initiator like KO. Just to have that switch off mentality between each agent. Like when you're Viper, you're like basically like a controller, and when you're KO, you need to lead the team, lead the charge with your util. And even when you're Raze, you have to go out and frag. Like King is like the consistent fragger for their team. And all of the tournaments that I've seen, all of the games I've seen, he's like really good. Just like he's a really explosive player, having able to play like multiple agents and also consistently frag for the team. I think it's just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the guy just does it all, right? That flexibility you were talking about, and he's IGLing, and I mean, he's just so clean in terms of his movement. That's one of the things I'm so impressed with, because, you know, if you're calling for a game, your aim and your movement is like secondary to what you're thinking about that's going on in the moment, right? In the server. Yeah. It's why it's so rare to see a fragging IGL player, but King does it all. I mean, the guy is just sublime in every single capacity. It's like he's just maxed out on the traits in like the FIFA Ultimate Team card or something. I don't know, he's just got like 99 on everything.
He doesn't have like, I feel like the normal narratives around the IGL. People are like, oh, he's IGLing, give him a break, you know, he can't do everything. But it feels like King can do everything, which I feel like makes him really scary.
I mean, it's like if the IGL is, you know, fragging out of his mind, that's a huge motivation for all the teams. Like, our IGL is leading the team. Now, let's go charge up, and it's our time to show up as well. So, King is a really good leader, and fragging out of his mind, it's a really good motivation for the team.
Yeah. I'm interested to see, though, how deep the map pool actually goes for Leviathan, because their ascent looked great, but they had a bit of a shaky performance on Pearl. They're still able to get it over the line because they're a fantastic team. But I don't know whether they've demonstrated the same level of depth as, you know, for example, Na'Vi. If you want to talk about them being bracket favorites, that's somewhere where Na'Vi look like at the moment they have an advantage. I think this series will showcase to us, hopefully, the depth that Leviathan have or possibly don't have. Maybe Vitality can punish that.
Well, let's talk about Brent's favorite team of all time. It is Team Vitality. Tell us why you believe in this roster so much.
I mean, they had a definition of a dark horse team, but I think that just on an individual basis, they have talented players that are really quite underrated as well. And moments like these, tournaments like this, is where players like that can shine. Like Multi, for instance, like Twiston, for instance. When these guys get going, they're on another level entirely. And they do have a core of like that veteran presence a bone cold. That guy has just been kind of simmering in the VRLs, but, you know, just to remind everybody at home, this is a guy who's won a title before. He won the championship title in 2021, and so he's got a ton of experience to bring to the stage to this team of, like, untested talent, and really, I think events like this are a great time for them to just go on a run and upset and kind of, like, surprise everybody. I've always been dead impressed with this team when I was watching them, even during the off-season when they hadn't had much practice, and now they've had even more time to cook, so I'm really excited about this series.
Well, Rossi, you played against them, so do you agree with everything that Brent's just said?
I mean, I do agree, but I didn't feel that pressure like I'm playing against a team like Vitality. It was just like they play on more on the confidence and the momentum that carries with Twiston. You know, it's like Twiston is making the chaos around the map, and then the Senator, you know, capitalizing on it, lurking around, taking space, calling for the team, you know, secondary calling, and just telling them like what's happening around the map. And I think they carry forward with that. Against us, is every time it was Twiston on the other side, and there's Senator lurking around, so it was very annoying for us. So I think Vitality capitalized on the confidence and, you know, like a lot of momentum-based,
I was impressed, though, with a lot of their defensive protocols. I think on Split, they demonstrated a great understanding of the map, and also just the way that they're controlling the map on Lotus here, too, investing a lot of utility early on in fairly unusual ways.
Yeah, I think the way that they were varying that up as well. I mean, firsthand, Rossi, you were experiencing this, right? And it makes it so much harder to control that one particular area of the map. But the reason I picked out that example as well when I was like thinking about it is that I think they're a team that are clearly thinking about the way they want to play certain maps and the extra layers on top. And beyond that point, it comes down to player quality and like the fundamentals and how they trade off of each other, which clearly they have because they are incredibly skilled players, like in just the form of like Twiston and Sender as well as an individual as well. That guy just seems to be able to pull rounds out of nowhere.
I'm glad you guys have already started the conversation on Twiston, because EMEA, we knew what he can do. You know, he was a known quantity already, but to show up on his debut on LAN as well, Bran, I feel like he's probably one of the reasons as to why you're so confident.
Yeah, and he said previously, I keep bringing this up because I find it so funny, but like in a previous interview, he's saying, our team doesn't have any star players. And I cannot think that that's anything more opposite compared to what he showcased in, because the guy was just on a tear over and over again, being able to pull just miraculous moments from just nowhere, it seems like. And that kind of player quality as well is something that, you know, some teams might be lacking it. They'll offset it with really good strategy, good layers in that. But having a player like Twiston who can just pull out insane rounds, magical moments, can be the difference maker when your team is down and out in certain situations.
But I think also, and listen, Rossi, I don't want to be rude, but I think that he was abusing a lot of like the nerves that you guys had on Split and finding holes in your game as a newer team. I think he's going to find that way more difficult against Leviathan, a team that is really drilled and the core's been together for a while.
Yeah, like if the Leviathan boys saw the game against us, I think they're gonna definitely punish, because even when the Vitality guys had the side, Twiston was always like aggressive.
Yeah,
you know, he was never passive. So I think if they start punishing that, I think Twiston's confidence will also go down, and the team will be like making a lot of mistakes, and that might, you know, stop their momentum. But they need to punish first. I think that's the game. Leviathan need to punish Twiston out and punish their mistakes. I think that will be a very good start for them.
Well, Twiston, he's got a secret weapon, though, and we all know what that is. Let's do a shorty check-in. Of course, this guy in EMEA, he loves shorties, buckies, judge, anything like a shotgun. And as you guys can see on your screen, I think it's 45 so far shorty kills, and I believe he even tweeted like he's going to donate 25 euros to every shorty kill that anyone does in this tournament. And I did a little bit of research, and I think the max anyone has got in one map was Sugar Zero, and that was 4 shorty kills in one map.
Was that all the way back in like Reykjavik or something?
I think so, but I feel like Twiston can beat that.
Possibly. I mean, the shorty developments, I'm not even kidding. It's really nerdy to talk about, like how weapons come into like tournaments and people figure out more and more ways to use it. But the shorty is just, this tournament so far, people are using it way more. Like it gives you the extra element, like I've noticed so many more players spamming through smokes with the Phantom, and they run out of ammo, and the immediate response as like a pro or anyone is to run in there and punish them, but they just whip out a shorty, and then they kill you when you're trying to punish them like in smokes. I've seen that so many more times now.
The reason it works with for Twiston is like he plays Jet, and he's an opper. He just take a shot, let's say he missed, the opponents are like, he missed the shot, let's run at him, and instantly have a shorty, and it's an easy kill for them. And that's why it works more on Sugar Zero as well. He plays a controller, he just pop off a smoke and play inside with the shorty, and it's very hard to expect. And on a big stages, you might tend to make mistakes, and you might forgot that the player has a shorty out of nowhere, and it really works with Tristan, because he's on Jet, he just throws smoke and gets shotty kills.
They need to bring back the broken classic right click because that was keeping the shorty in check. When the classic right click was broken, there was no need to buy a shorty, and we all just had goofy, silly moments with the classic all over the place.
I want
That's
the
what we
Bucky.
need.
I want the Bucky
The
back.
old Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky FC.
As a
Buy
secondary
Bucky.
weapon?
Dude, Korea would take over as a region. When I was playing Korean ranked, the amount of times people would just force Bucky, second round, third round, whatever, they would just full buy around Bucky was insane. They're playing like it's pre-nerf Bucky. Like Korea would take over if it was on the, at the same level as it was in 2020.
I mean, Brent, I know you're still on the side of Vitality, but Rossi, I want to ask you, who you got for this game? Who do you think is going to be taking it?
I think Leviathan. Yeah, like I said, if Vitality continues that momentum and the Tristan confidence, and if Leviathan don't punish that, I think it's a game for Vitality. But I know Leviathan has a really good team and they are very experienced on big stages. I think they'll be able to punish it and they're going to take this game away. Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I've got to favor Leviathan. I just think they look so clean on the maps that they're good at, but I want to see more from them. I know that, you know, people in the scrims have been really impressed with what they've seen, but for us actually watching the matches, we've only seen one map so far that looked dominant. And there are other teams around, even in this bracket, like Na'Vi, like Fnatic, that have shown us more and on deeper map pools. So that's what I'm looking for here today. Leviathan not just to win, but to impress.
Yeah.
You got about 10 seconds to
10 seconds, that's
yeah,
fine.
10.
Listen, my brain says Leviathan. I agree with you guys. I think on paper, everything across the board seems like they should be taking it, but my heart says
Didn't know
Vitality.
you had one.
I don't. It's pea size, it's tiny, so maybe that does not bode well for you guys, honestly.
Time's up. Your time's up, Brian. Your time's up because the teams are ready right now. It's time to bring out Leviathan and Team Vitality onto stage for the next round of this matchup.